Welcome to this episode of Ekonomica. This episode has been produced by EJATV and Chartabianca and sponsored by FINSARDEGNA and the University of Cagliari. Today, we're going to deal with the topic of cooperation between universities and private companies. And so we have a very interesting selection of representatives from both universities and private firms. So I'd like to start with Carol Steinhaus, Professor Carol Steinhaus from Northern Michigan University, United States of America. Federico Pinna from Vivocia, very fast-growing company. We have Professor Riza Ortsuk from Bielefeld University, Germany. We have Alessandro Onano from Manifarm. We have Mario Mariani, founder and the main actor of The Net Value. We have Giuseppe Littera, founder and the big brain of SARDEGNA. Today we will discuss this cooperation together with Annalisa Bonfiglio. She's the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Cagliari. She's dealing exactly with this kind of topics, so the cooperation between universities and companies. So I think that now we can proceed having a first look at an interesting video clip in which Professor Patrizio Monfardino will discuss about important topics that we can follow later on. Please.
Patrizio Monfardini, I'm assistant professor here at the University of Cagliari in business administration. Internationalization of corporation is very important because Sardinia is part of Italy, but Italy is part of Europe, and Europe is part of the world. So everyone who wants to have a corporation, who wants to run a corporation, has to face a market which is wide and which is very highly competitive. In this sense, everything that a university can do for helping corporation in being more internationalized have to be welcomed. For example, a university can help to develop ideas, to develop business models, to develop managerial skills that the small and medium enterprise may not have in the quantity and in the quality they need to compete effectively. On the other hand, corporation can help university to be as well more internationalized, to be more applied, to help university to be more effective in playing their role in the society. So this exchange should be enforced, should be strengthened every day with the possibility to mutual help each other.
Okay, Carol, I told you you are from Northern Michigan University, but you're also the president of IBSEN, which is the International Business Studies Exchange Network, which is an international network, and the University of Cagliari is a member of this network. Could you say some words regarding IBSEN?
Yes, IBSEN has changed. We started about 15 years ago, and IBSEN stood for International Business Student Exchange Network, and it focused on exchanging students and doing that smoothly. And the people who attended the meetings were from the international study offices. Well, since computers have come in and Skype and long-distance phones, we no longer needed to do that. So we began to change the representation a little bit so that we are involving business professors and trying to not only talk about exchanging students, but exchanging faculty and exchanging ideas. After all, it's a shrinking world, and so we're trying to help each other. We usually meet about twice a year. We have, at the moment, 6 universities, mainly in Europe. We have we have a university in South Korea, and I represent the United States. We have 1 campus in Canada. The rest at the moment are European.
Okay, can you also say a few words regarding your university?
Okay. My university is Northern Michigan University. We are in an area of the state that is actually above Wisconsin. We are very close to Canada. Marquette, Michigan is a town of about 25,000 people. A lot of the people are Finnish background because we look like Finland. We have a lot of lakes, we have a lot of woods. We are becoming famous for mountain biking. We do a lot of things on the lake. But if you come to Marquette, you have to like snow. We tend to get snow in November, and it usually leaves sometime in April. We get 150 inches. I don't know how many meters that is. We get kind of tired of the color white. But we've learned to enjoy such things. For example, I have a class that manages the sled dog races. We have 3 different sled dog races of different lengths. About 10,000 students, about 850 majors in business. So we enjoy it there. We enjoy the outdoors. We're very entrepreneurial. We help people start companies because you can live in that small town and sell things on the web.
Thank you. So a completely different environment from Sardinia, as you have seen, but very attractive for us. Okay, Rita, you come from the University of Bielefeld in Germany. You are also very much involved in cooperating with companies, and please.
Yes, also from my university, as a regional university in North Westphalia. It's located in the biggest state, North Rhine-Westphalia. It's very important to have really a significant collaboration with the companies. And as I said before, the companies very close to my university are, I would say, hidden champions. They are called hidden champions. They are SMEs, small, medium enterprises, which family-owned structure, but on the other hand, very international. That means, so starting with Dr. Oetker, maybe it's a name for this area, ending with really companies, the name is maybe not well known, but all their products are worldwide. So the idea is, as you said, Alessandro, is to find ways how we can enhance all the collaboration with these companies. And we started, as you did also, I guess, here, a campaign, a new program, how we can go with these international companies, with different branches worldwide, in such a collaboration to have 3 pillars. One of them, of course, to bring our students to them, then doing some projects with them, and at least that's maybe also an important one, to find maybe new certificates, way of collaboration in terms of that their experts come to us and our experts goes to them. So maybe these, in few words, the whole significant collaboration between us and the regional companies.
Yes, and in addition, we're also working at a project to set up double degree programs between the 2 universities, according to which our student will be able to spend, we hope, 1 year in Germany, and German students will be able to spend 1 year in Cagliari. So this is something challenging but very interesting for us. Annalisa, could you please present us with the position of the University of Cagliari? You are Deputy Vice Chancellor for this kind of affair, so please.
Yeah, so thank you. I'm the Deputy Chancellor for Innovation and Territorial Strategies. So my main company is exactly that of trying to reinforce all the connection that we already have with the companies and with the city and the region of Sardinia in general. So we strongly believe that a university must be a strong partner, I would say, for companies. And in particular, a university like ours, that is a multidisciplinary university, has, I think, a big wealth of culture, and is of different cultures coming from different fields. And so we think that for a region like Sardinia, it is especially important to have all this wealth accessible. So our main goal is exactly to do that. And one also of the goals that we would like to achieve during our task is also that of trying to promote new entrepreneurship. So maybe later we'll have the occasion to talk about these kind of programs. In general, the University of Cagliari is very interested in trying to develop more this program. So I'm here to talk about this, but also to learn possibly from other experiences.
Yeah, this is a point in common that we have with other universities, in which they try to set up or help firms grow. And for instance, in Mikkeli, in Finland, another partner, some companies are hosted in university buildings, so they work very close to each other. So this is something that University of Cagliari probably will develop in the future. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So now we can listen to our guests from private firms. Could you please introduce Vivocia, which is a very innovative and fast-growing firm? Please, Federico.
My name is Federico Pinna. I'm the CTO of Vivocia. Vivocia stands for Video, Voice and Chat. So we provide services to businesses to get in touch with their customers where they are online. So tools that can be added to websites or applications to interact in real time with the customers. So very often our customers are e-commerces, for example. They need to transfer what normally happens in the shop. So with a person that can help the visitor in the shop, they need to transfer that in the online context. We work with very big companies in Italy and in Europe and all over the world. We started since the first day being an international company somehow. In some things we succeeded, in some things we were not that successful. So for us it's very important to know for the next phase of our company that is growing, fortunately, to find a better strategy to go global in a successful way.
When was the company set up?
The company has 2 offices today, one in Cagliari and one in Milano, but we also have a very small office in the United States because we incorporated also the company in the States since the first day because for us that was the simplest way to be able to sell the product all over the place because for regulation reasons and for lower bureaucracy that there is in the United States.
Okay. Alessandro, could you please introduce Moneyfar? You have a very interesting business model.
Okay, I'm Alessandro Nano, Chief Marketing Officer for Moneyfar. I will just say one thing. Our wealth is something very important. And this is something true. I think everyone agrees with this statement. The real problem, few people act in this statement. So, and the biggest problem is that very few organizations help us to properly manage our wealth. So, and this is a big problem if we think about Europe. Europe, for example, we are talking about a market of 19 trillion of euro. So it's a real big market. It's a market that is not producing any value for the customer in this phase. If we think of the amount of profit that asset manager generate in Europe per year, we are talking about 12 billion. 12 billion means half. That means that we could pay off the Greek deficit for a year and keep half of the money for us. So it's a very huge problem. What we try to do is to offer to our customer, to the investor, to the saver, a simpler solution to manage their money, to protect their money, and the real value of the money through time. This is what we do. I would say the solution that we offer is very simple. I would stress this concept. Simplicity in the investment is something very far from the concept of investment. What we are trying to do is to offer a real simple solution to the low end of the market, of the mass affluent. I mean, people that invest up to 200,000 euro. So,
okay, you recently were on the spotlight because you managed to attract a lot of private funds.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Okay, I think we have Mario. Mario is actually one of the partners of our investors, so maybe it's more a question for him. But by the way, fintech is the word of the moment for several reasons. The financial services market is a market that have not seen any innovation since the ATM, maybe. But for the reason I said before, there is a lot of opportunity for a new startup like Moneyfar to disrupt the market, to change the market, and I think this innovation cannot come from the incumbent. So this is the reason why maybe external investor looking to small startup that can really make the difference.
When we talk about startups, the right person here is Mario. He has an interesting story. If you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you actually do.
Yeah, I'm Mario Mariani. I am the founder of The Net Value. The Net Value is an incubator, accelerator, based here in Cagliari, in Sardinia. I'm Sardinian, but I've, let's say, started up this facility 7 years ago here in my town because there is a, let's say, digital knowledge that is really spread all over the town due to the history of a lot of investments and digital companies that started up in this country. And I mean, these are some examples of companies that have started up in this area. So I decided to open the Net Value here in Cagliari in order to help digital entrepreneurs to grow their business. So what I do, I host, let's say, startuppers in this facility where I provide with my team, let's say, good advices and some small finance, seed money to this startup and I help them to grow. And what is really important is that I choose only companies that have ideas that are, powered by digital components and with entrepreneurs that have a mindset which is an international mindset since day one. So even if they are 2 or 3 people, they have to build a platform, a product which since the beginning is something that is, let's say, designed to be an international product. So this is to me very important because we are in a very poor country and it's, I would say, an underdeveloped country with a lot of unemployment, and this is the only way, I think, to let's say, to resist to this environment that is changing, the modern market. So if we want to create economic development in this country, we need to work this way. And when Alessandro was talking that I am investor in Money Farm, in parallel with the Net Value, I'm also partner of the largest VC fund in Italy that is called United Ventures, which is based in Milan. And this VC fund invested in several companies here in Sardinia. One is Money Farm, but also in other companies. So what I do here, I try to monitor what is happening in this very specific area of Italy, Cagliari, where a lot of digital startups are, popping up, and we try to spot the best one and give them the money to grow global.
So you don't simply host them, but you also help them to grow.
Yeah, help, coach them, and give them seed money with the Net Value and heavy money. But of course, I mean, it's very rare because you need to deserve to win heavy money with a fund when there's big talent and a big opportunity to scale up the business globally.
Okay, last but not least, Giuseppe, you are one of the founders of Sardex. Okay. You also have been on the spotlight recently for several reasons, so please.
Hi everybody, my name is Giuseppe Littera. I am co-founder and chief technical officer of Sardex.net. Sardex.net stands for Sardinian Exchange Network, so it's very close to Ibsen in that sense. Yet the company was founded in mid-2009, right after Lehman, and it was founded in order to help local SMEs, first by having them networking together, and by networking enabling them to buy and sell goods and services with a local complementary currency that we provide them. So the unique twist is that this monetary system, this small monetary system, is based on trust, is based on goods and services. In a sense, it's very different from the wealth and the language of wealth that we are accustomed to. There is zero interest, zero transaction fees, and throughout these past 6 years, we first managed to prove that this thing could work by starting up and keeping on growing year after year. And now we are employing around 60 people in Sardinia and provide services to over 3,000 small and medium local companies that in 6 years, thanks to our services and help, because it's a mix of online and offline, all mixed, we enabled the local economy to generate around 100 million euro of extra transaction that if we weren't there, they just wouldn't have happened. In a sense, we are an enabler. We like to be seen in this way. As for the spotlight, we've been in the past year or so working very, very hard, and in the past 2 years already in trying to scale up the same model in other regions in Italy. And this is starting to work, considering that these networks are based on network effects. So the startup is super hard, and it's every time from 0 to 3 to form a network, and 3 to 1,000, it's always uphill. We're trying also to we have already established a couple of partnerships with universities, some in Europe and some also in the United States, and we're already working with them. So this is another opportunity for us to connect, especially with the University of Cagliari, but with all of you, since as of now, it's been very, very interesting. We're dealing with various faculties from humanities to finance, because what we do is very interdisciplinary. It's just, we're trying to find new ground on monetary theory, and starting from a little micro environment. So in a sense, Sardinia is optimal for that. We would love to brand Sardinia as a laboratory for institutions or new models. I think that's enough.
So another thing that I think you forgot to tell us is that you are not acting only in Sardinia, which is a big thing anyway, but you are also acting in other regions in Italy.
Yeah, we are acting, working with other local teams and trying to replicate in 10 regions now. And we've got more coming up, and lots of interest from the outside of Italy, and a lot from outside of Europe as well. And in order also to be able to even think about scaling or replicating in some foreign country like Malaysia, or could be Kenya, we are also found investors that believe in our vision long term and are willing to help us in this journey.
Okay, thank you for that. Very interesting stories, and we can now have some time to see another video clip from another interesting company.
I'm Antonella Arca from Maytag. We are a company that developed a technology for interactive videos. We developed an editor in order to give it to video creators and give them the possibility to enrich their video through interactive areas. So inserting in their own videos links to other websites or e-commerce or all those details that can engage the audience. In February, Buzz My Videos acquired Maytag. It is an operation called acquihires. It is the acquisition of the technology and the hiring of the team of Maytag. So from February, we are working together here in our office in Cagliari with London. We was born like an international company, as Maytag was born in Madrid, but as we are a digital company, we born international. We always developed all our tools first in English in order to product our technology here, but can open the market to all Europe or all the world.
Okay, thank you. So we also have other guests from other universities. We have Bart, so we can say thank you for being with us, Professor Annalisa Bonfiglio. And we have another guest from the Netherlands. And I think that we can start with you. So now it's time to try to ask the companies what we can do for them, what is important. So you can also say some words regarding what your university does in terms of cooperation with the company.
Thank you, Alessandro. I'm working in the Hague University in the Netherlands in a program which is called European Studies, which is a very international program hosting around 400 first-year students every year. By nature, it's very international, and it's a combination of private and public sector issues, combined with languages and all kind of skills that students learn. And many students, actually all students we have, go on an exchange program for 6 months, and they do a placement. And approximately 2/3 of the students does a placement in a company. And that's where the relationship between the university or program and companies becomes very clear. We can do a lot for companies, but companies can do a lot for us. We're looking for cooperation locally, nationally, but also internationally. Around 1/3 of the companies now is, 1/3 of the students is now doing a placement abroad. And the Ibsen network we joined recently is a good way of finding more opportunities for students to study and work abroad during their study and probably after they graduated. And by the way, when they graduate and you ask students which of the courses were most valuable to them, usually they mention two things, and particularly the exchange experience abroad and the placement, also out of school, were the most valuable experiences they had in their career. Well, that sounds probably a bit bad to us, but actually it's very good that they already get used to real life experiences. And another thing that companies can do for us is working together in all kinds of projects. Assignments they have for students that could be very simple ones, like which market is the best market to go to export my product. That could be more complicated assignments where groups work, students work in groups, and that could be projects for their final dissertation, and even for PhD students within our university. So there is a lot of work to do, and there is a lot of cooperation going on, and hopefully that will increase. It's good to say that I just heard that next Ibsen conference will be hosted in The Hague, so you're all very welcome there.
Thank you. So, what are the main topics that you think are important for us to discuss with private companies? We've been discussing that over the last few days. We need to increase cooperation. So what would you like to ask them in order to increase this kind of cooperation? Is there any specific question you want to ask them?
Well, one thing I'd like you to consider is whether or not you could hire university students in internship positions to help you help other people start businesses. At my university, we have a building, and it is run under the name Invent at NMU. We actually have some international students working there. One of the students working as an intern is from Finland. And we are helping people in the area begin new companies, because this is one way people can stay in our nice area. Economically, we've been a bit challenged. We're part of Michigan. That was the car industry that had so much trouble. But this is working out very well for us. I'm not sure that that is being done here in terms of students working with people like you to develop. So that's something that I'd like to ask if we could be considered, if you think.
Federico, you want to answer that?
We've been doing that for the past 3 years, I would say, okay. Especially in Milan, I have to say. It proved more difficult here. So in Milan, we tend to have very often students coming exactly from the United States, at least 2 or 3 at a time. And I would love to be able to do the same here, especially on the technical side of things. And we face a lot of challenges, even on the technical side. Sometimes doing support on an international scale is very difficult, not only for the times of the different time zones, but also for the messages you need to send. So you need to be able to speak in not just on a linguistical level, but on a semantic level to the proper way, different cultures, different expectations, especially if you're dealing with big customers like we are.
Okay, thank you.
Rizza.
Maybe I will highlight another point of collaboration between universities and companies. So we had last week our meeting with our companies, and one of the problem was if we want to embed the companies in so-called grants, EU grants, for research issues. These companies have not so much experience with that. They ask us what is our role in that, so how much money or how much work we have to do in this deal. So your experiences, have you ever did some EU grants with universities and companies, and you know what I mean? So these experiences, I guess, will be very interesting also for our companies.
I think that Giuseppe may answer that.
We actually have been part of two projects, European-backed ones. One very short one, where we were, I think, the only company, and there were, I think, 5 universities were very interdisciplinary, from engineers to an economist and some language guy, I would say. And the other one, which is way bigger in terms of budget and times, is still ongoing. In that, we are 3, let's say, private business, 3 SMEs, and there's regional governments, there's universities, and there's also non-NGO partners. So in that sense, I would say it's a wonderful experience, yet as an entrepreneur, okay, let me just choose the right words, not to be too rude, but given the amount of EU funding and the way it is effectively put to use, I don't know, I felt there's a misproportion between paperwork still and, I mean, if I could do a startup tomorrow, like a new one, I would try to do something for the EU to fix the grant workflow. It's madness, really, it's madness. And I'm also a technical guy, so I got lost in those menus. Most really, well, maybe they're improving, and I think they are. But aside from that, yeah, it's a great opportunity. In that sense, if I could have wished for something, especially from the universities that are taking part in the project, would have been maybe some help, some really practical help on the paperwork. I mean, it's not the most interesting task in the world, but that could have been done by some students or some, you know, a project manager type of person who has the skills for that. I felt like if I had to do the same amount of paperwork for my enterprise, I would have gotten anywhere. Zero. I mean, zero, impossible. And you just can't start like that.
We are with you as we work in a public sector organization. Red tape is crazy, so we perfectly understand that. One last question for Alessandro. I think that is very interesting for us to understand what are the main problems that local companies face when they want to go international. Because you opened a branch in Milan and then in London. You are based in London right now, but right now you are here, but you are working in London. So what do you think are the main problems that you are facing or have been facing?
Okay, despite my English, I'm based in London. So, but Monifarm is a financial services company, so we are talking about a fully regulated market. So the problem that we have is the same in Italy as in the UK, but the choice of become international, open a new market maybe, at the very beginning was just a choice to an option to expand the business. Now the opportunity of being international is simply because it is an essential need for a company like our, because our customer is someone that today work in Italy, tomorrow will work in the UK, and maybe in 4 years will work in France. So we need to offer a solution that is for this kind of people that are based in the world, not only in Cagliari and Milan. So the internationalization is no more an opportunity, but something that you have to do, simply to do. Being international in Europe is quite easy because unless our British friends don't vote yes for the Brexit, with the one single license, we are regulated by the FCA. You can easily operate across Europe. So there is no particular problem on being international, being European compared to be just Italian.
Okay, thank you. One last question to Mario. What would you like us as university to do for you?
Okay, University of Cagliari is already doing a lot of stuff. So one thing that I would like to mention is that the fact that since 3 years ago, University of Cagliari started up an entrepreneurship program called C-Lab, Contamination Lab, which is really successful, the best contamination lab in Italy, which is producing, like 4 or 5 startups every year. And it's a very good program. So this is very good. Also in the area of internship for students, it's very active. So most of the startups that are hosted in my incubator in Danet Value, they host students, or let's say people that just received a degree for a period of 6 months. Of internship before getting a stable work proposal from the company. So this is happening already. I would say there is not perfect yet, so there is a lot of room for improvement, but it's happening, and I'm very happy that this is happening. What I would do more is since we are in a small town which is in an island and an underdeveloped place, what I would ask to universities to open up more, so to receive more visiting professors, to receive more, to create more exchange student programs, to have, to contaminate our students with the international spirits, because we need people that once they arrive to get a job, they are people with international experience. So this is very important because there are no companies anymore that can survive in a local environment. So we need to plug also small companies to international markets, international activities. Even if you have a small artisan company that produce knives or other stuff, you want to sell them abroad. I mean, you need to know how the digital marketing works. You need to do how to sell, how to use the platforms, e-commerce platforms. And in order to do this, you need young kids with digital culture, with international attitude and entrepreneurial spirit. So this is very important, and this is something that can be done inside university with proper exchange programs and proper cultural attitude.
Thank you, Mario. Very interesting. I would like to thank Bart for being with us, and I would like to invite Karel from Prague, so we can hear another voice from another university. Thank you for being here. Also, your university is very much involved in working with the companies and very active at an international level. So could you please say something about that?
Okay, well, so I am a representative of the Czech University of Life Sciences in Prague. I'm from the Faculty of Economics and Management, and we are really strongly oriented on internationalization. Yeah, because it is for us very important. Czech Republic is a small country with very strong links to our neighbors, to our other partners. So we really support exchanges of students. We support cooperation with firms. Well, Prague nowadays is a very good location for international business. So that's, I think, it is our comparative advantage that we are located in Prague and we can be really in touch with business and with an international business.
We're also working to see whether we can have a double degree program with your university, but we'll see over the next few years if we will succeed. The last round of questions for you before we finish this episode. What do you think the university can do for your company or in general for helping private companies growing?
For sure, it was said already, having the possibility to have students doing these exchange programs to help have them working with us and will be very important. And also, as I'm on the technical side of things, research is very important for us, so be able to interact with the research departments there. And we try to differentiate using more advanced technology than our competitors, so we are always trying to do new things, and the universities where most of the technologies normally are originate, so it will be important for us to be able to find a global network of possibilities, so not just local one.
What about money farm?
Okay, I think university could be a little bit closer to the market needs. What I will say is that I make you the example of Cagliari. There is a big consultancy tech company that established a big office in Cagliari, recruiting 300 people in the last year, and they reach or take off to the market almost all developer in Cagliari. So it's very hard for us, and we are recruiting a developer in this phase. We are simply not receiving CV or it's very hard to find the people. So and in the other end, the University of Cagliari is simply producing unemployed in some faculty, some area that simply don't have area that don't have any opportunity or any job in Sardinia. So I think a promotion dedicated to the area that
computer science.
Yeah, maybe is an example, could be a good things to do. Yeah.
This is interesting because today we had a meeting with the governor of Sardinia, Professor Pigliaru, and he told us that he met a very large foreign company, and they are willing to invest in Sardinia. The first thing they asked, how many engineers can we get in Sardinia? Because they said if we invest here, we may need 60, 80 for the first year, but if we grow, that's going to be about 200.
Yeah.
Can we get enough engineers here? Of course, it's a big challenge for the University of Cagliari, but also a good idea to switch our focus to the areas where the market is requiring more. What about Sardex?
No, it's bad news what I'm hearing. There's more international companies. I mean, it's a good news for the island because we are attracting investment. At the same time, these people can afford and higher salaries than we normally do. But anyway, I hope it doesn't turn that bad. As for the university, my experience so far has been good. I mean, we've done some work with the University of Cagliari, but for instance, with the University of Yale, we are working with the network science department on some very, very highly specified research on network graph routing, and so in a sense, what I would like to be able to would be to have an interface with the university somehow where we could browse among the thousands of papers and and skills that are in each university, because the problem is not just that we need more computer scientists, that's true, but we also might need to rediscover the value already produced, that it's maybe theory and has not a practical appliance. And in a sense, we are very good at turning theory into products, or research into products. They are very good at the engineering, or let's say research part. So if you bridge the two, you get a win-win.
That's very interesting. That's a big challenge for us, but a big opportunity also.
Go to work.
We keep on working, so I would like to thank all of you for being here. So thank you, Carol. Thank you, Riza. Thank you, Karel, for being here. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Giuseppe. Thank you, Alessandro. Thank you, Federico. I think that we have a lot of food for thought, and we will keep on working just after we finish this. And I think that we need to take your commitment to keep on working with us, and we need you. We hope we can also be of some help for you. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.